Let's talk about Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam is returning to the Toronto Raptors soon, and it really hasn't affected him, the fact that he's been out, because they've been having guys that step up, mainly Kyle Lowry, to help kind of ease the loss of Pascal Siakam. And in his absence, they've still been fine. They're currently fourth in the Eastern Conference. In his absence, last time he played was December 18th. He's been out with a groin injury. And in those games, they have 6 wins and only 5 losses. So they've been able to ease the brunt. Shout out Nick Nurse mainly for that. But what will Pascal Siakam do returning to this Raptor team? Do we think that this can literally legitimize them as a threat in the Eastern Conference? Right now, they're 8 games back of the Milwaukee Bucks, but they are also only 2 games back of becoming second place and jumping the Miami Heat. They're right now at 25-13. The Miami Heat are at 27-11. What will Pascal Siakam's return do to this Toronto Raptor team? Because they've been banged up as well. They also have Gasol out, and I think
Van Vliet's missed some time.
Van Vliet's missing some time. They're missing another big player too. So they've been a little bit banged up. When they get fully healthy, what is their true power in the Eastern Conference, Dave?
I think with this group, they have a chance, like second round of the NBA playoffs. They absolutely have a chance to make some noise at that point. It's just so crazy because the East is so compact and so good all the way through. And it's just a weird vibe because we're not used to that. We're used to, 2 teams at the top of the East dominating, and then everybody else is kind of, a pretender. And this is a case where Pascal comes back. He's their leading scorer. He's just a fantastic offensive weapon, plays great defense. Like, you get back your number one, and I know Kyle Lowry's been playing exceptionally well, but at the same time, Pascal Siakam at this point, and he's basically, junior Giannis out there. He's Giannis light. He's not in the same category even, but it's still impressive the way they can use him. It's impressive the way he moves on the floor. I think this team has an incredible amount of danger around them in the playoffs. The big question, though, is they have a lot of good pieces. It's just that depth kills them. So if they get Fred VanVleet back, they have another good guard. They've been riding, OG Anunoby. I wanted him to take a step. He has not. He's been a good player, but he's just, another guy basically in their rotation. Chris Bucher, pretty good player. Terrence Davis, pretty good player. Boucher, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Boucher, yes.
This is Rick Bucher out here.
Yeah, that's the name that came to my head, actually.
Chris Boucher. Oregon legend.
Yeah, he is terrifying.
He's long.
He plays out of control at times, but he's super fun. Terrence Davis, good shooter. But it's just
one of John's guys.
They're getting good looks out there, and any given game from one of those kind of guys. Even Frankie was right with Rondé Hollis Jefferson. He had that game against the Nets where it was just like the FU finish to that game. It was great, but I don't know something. I'm not over the hill. I think that this team still can't compete for a championship, even with Siakam coming back. I think they're going to be a good regular season team, but I don't have that high of hope for them.
Yeah, and Nick Nurse told reporters that Siakam, Gasol, and Norman Powell all took practice at Friday, in Friday's practice on a limited basis. So Powell was the other name I was forgetting there. Ricky, though, when you get Siakam at full strength, you get Gasol at full strength. Do you agree with Dave and Norman Powell as well? Do you agree with Dave that this is more of just a regular season team rather than a team that could push for the playoffs? Because by the second round, if they do stay at the 4 seed, they'd be playing the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, for me, the 2 things that I'm thinking about when it comes to the Raptors is, number one, we won't know until it gets to the playoffs, but how much did last year help them? By having a guy like, I know it's a parody series on YouTube, but Game of Zones, they made the joke of Siakam saying no, we learned from Kawhi Leonard to be in that experience. How much did last year's run to a title teach these guys of how to prepare for the finals, because the playoffs are a different animal compared to the regular season. The other thing, though, is I think this could be a team that hangs around in the top 4, and even if the seedings kind of play out like they are right now, if you're a team like the 76ers, if you're a team like the Celtics, and you get paired up in a 4-5 matchup against the Raptors, great. That is not the first-round matchup I want. So, if I'm the Sixers today, I'm worried because I don't want to see the Raptors in the first round.
Yeah, and even like Jake just said, even though it was more of a look back, he did mention that their best player, Joel Embiid, his kryptonite is Marc Gasol, and that's why they ended up trading for him last year. And we did see that Gasol, although he wasn't Marc Gasol back in his peak of his powers, he still did a decent job against Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid definitely wasn't dominant. And I think if you didn't make that trade for Marc Gasol, that wouldn't have happened. Now maybe Marc Gasol being a year older and Joel Embiid being a year wiser, that could lead to Joel Embiid having more dominance in that, and then obviously the loss of Kawhi Leonard could push to the Sixers ending up winning that, and you don't come down to a buzzer beater in Game 7 in Toronto where Kawhi has those lucky bounces fall in for him. You might see the 76ers have a little bit easier of a time and might win that series, but it still might go 7 or 6 games because of the way that they can play. However, I do look at this team, and I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me is their defense. And this is a team that could go in and play anybody due to their length, due to their veteran leadership with Kawhi, due to Gasol, due to Pascal Siakam. And Siakam has shown that he can go off. And I do wonder if this is a team that does make a trade to get a... I think what they would probably need is just another scorer, because right now their defense is so good, and we haven't seen other guys step up besides Pascal Siakam as a guy that could put up 20 a night. Lowry is very good, but Lowry isn't a dynamic scorer. They needed Fred VanVleet to really pop
have another
off.
kid.
Yeah, well, yeah, they need him to have another kid, but for him to become that next level guy, we needed to see that in the postseason to happen. Marc Gasol isn't that anymore. I think that if they're going to look for anything to help out this team, I think it is their offense, because they do have the defensive firepower to go up against a Milwaukee Bucks. It's just, outside of Giannis and outside of Siakam, because those are going to be the two biggest stars. If they both cancel out each other, Giannis is obviously likely going to win that matchup. But if Siakam is able to at least go neck and neck, or at least is close in those matchups, I think Milwaukee clearly has the edge there, because they have a guy in Chris Midd who can go off for 20. So that's where I think that is going to really separate these two teams. So if we do look for a trade for them, I think you're going wing offense. Is there a player that sticks out to you that they could get? I know Aaron Gordon's out there, but I don't know if Aaron Gordon is that type of offensive player. We talked early about Rocco, but I don't know if Rocco is that offensive player as well. A name that sticks out to me, Danilo Gallinari. Is that a guy that could possibly come in and help this team? A veteran scorer, might get exposed against a Bucks team that is very good defensively and offensively, might be able to kill him with some length and athleticism, but I think another addition might be made, and if it is made, I think this team with their veteran, experience and what they did last year, and a great coach in Nick Nurse, could possibly take some team down. I do think that this could be a team that could shock some people if one more move is made. Do you think a name like Gallinari could push them over the edge, Dave?
I think scoring-wise, you're absolutely right. He addresses a big need for them because, like you said, counting on Lowry and Siakam to carry the majority load, and you're hoping, those secondary guys like VanVleet, OG, Norm Powell, all Terrence Davis, even to like a lesser Gasol, like all those guys, you're getting about 10 points a night from those guys on any given night. It's whatever. And when one of them pops off, and that's great, but consistent points from Gallo would be huge for them. And he's so efficient shooting, and the space that opens up and the looks that he'll get because of the way Pascal Siakam plays, I would be very confident in that team going forward, knowing that they've got a third guy who can drop 20 to 25 any given night. I think that would be great for them. It's just cost-wise, I know he's on an interesting contract, so you'd have to find a way to match contracts and not give up too much. But I don't even know what the hell the Thunder are doing this year. They're their playoff team, so I'm like, are they going to trade anybody? Are they just going to roll it out? And it's one of those situations where you might have to play let's make a deal very close to the trade deadline based on how the Thunder are doing in the next month.
It seems with the way that they have allocated assets, I don't think that they would be too keen on keeping him around. I think that although they are in the playoffs, I don't think that is their main focus. And I think even though right now, although he is averaging 18 points per game, you probably could move Danilo and still make the playoffs. I mean, Chris Paul has been fantastic. Shai Gilgeous has been fantastic as well. Steven Adams has been Steven Adams. I think that they have Schroeder as well.
He's been great.
Yeah, he's
been absolutely great.
I think that there is a guy that I think they could still make a move. Is what I'm trying to say.
They'll get Marooks.
They could. Oh, for the Raptors?
For the Raptors.
Oh, I was saying I just think the Thunder. I don't think the playoff idea is too much for them. I just wonder with Gallinari, he is making 22.6 a year. Gasol's making 25.5. I doubt they move on from him. Kyle Lowry's making 34.9. I doubt they move on from him. maybe Serge. Would you move away from Serge to bring more offense in? I mean, he's probably a better defender than Marc Gasol right now, but at least size-wise, you want someone to match up against Joel Embiid. Yeah. Norman Powell's making 10.1. I don't really think they move him. Pat McCaw's making 4. Stan Johnson's making 3.6. Rondae Hollis Jefferson's making 2.5. But those guys are playing decent amount of minutes for them.
You might have to, though. And the reason why I say that is 2 names that were thrown out by Chris Mannix at SI were Drew Holiday being one, but also K Love. For the Raptors.
Okay.
Really?
The tweet was Raptors could be active everywhere. They have the expiring contracts. They have the intriguing young players. They have the future draft picks. They could probably pluck Toronto native Tristan Thompson out of Cleveland anytime they wanted. If they got aggressive, they might be able to quickly cut a deal for K-Love too. Versatile wings like Holiday and Rocco could be in play. And he says, the article I'm looking at says later on, while Love is no MVP candidate, his shooting and rebounding abilities could prove invaluable for Toronto.
Yeah, those are 2 interesting names.
And with
you probably
Love, you would have to give up
Ibaka.
Yeah.
Which I think I'd be fine with, Dave. Would you be fine getting K-Love for an Ibaka flip? Obviously, Serge Ibaka's a better defender. He's more of an athletic but K-Love's going to give you great rebounding and shooting from the outside.
Yeah.
More consistent shooting than what Serge brings you.
He helps the spacing, but even Ibaka this year has been pretty good from the outside.
He's been very good in the past 2 years, but I would still say better shooter.
His K-Love by far.
Yeah, I mean, when his time in Toronto, he's been a 34.8 shooter.
Let's see,
from
playoff
3.
standings.
They're 4th, 2 games back.
K-Love gets
second.
abused by, the Bucks, Giannis on K-Love. You put Siakam, so that way you try to match it. The Heat, no problems. Celtics,
no problems.
No problems.
I mean, he dominates the boards.
And they could do an Ibaka Love straight up money works, and then it's just with the Raptors, how many firsts do you want me to send over?
I don't think it's that many, though, because I think...
I got 2. 2020, 2022, Surge.
I think that's too much.
I might float 1, and I try to do it in like 2021.
Yeah, I mean, my thing, too, with...
Maybe 2020.
Ibaka's going to get... I mean, really what the Cavs likely want is cap relief. And you're going to get Ibaka, who is an expiring deal for $23 million. You're getting rid of 34 for K-Love. And
then you get a first rounder this year.
On top, well, even that, too, with the Ibaka thing, you could turn him around as well. So this isn't a guy that might not even stay on your team. Well, you could possibly even buy him out. So
now, this is, yet again, 2K to real rules.
Sure.
Isn't there a grace period? Is that real in real life, where there's the trade grace period, where if you trade someone... You have to wait X amount of days?
You can trade them again. There is.
I think in season it's
because it happened literally last year, and it was the.
Give me a team and I'll get it.
I want to say the Timberwolves passed. No, because it was the Thon Maker deal. Because it was Stanley Johnson, Thon Maker, and then somebody.
Thon Maker went to the Pistons.
It was 2 years ago then?
No, Thon was traded last year.
Okay, so it was Stanley Johnson, Thon Maker, and then there was another player involved that they swung him for. Because Stanley Johnson went somewhere else.
Ersan, I think, was a Piston, and he went to the Bucks. And I think they gave up Stan John and... No, because Ersan was a Piston.
Yeah. Ricky, do you got it?
No, I'm looking at the CBA.
I don't think there is one, though. I think you could absolutely flip him. I think that Ibaka for K-Love, I think that value is fairly even, and it truly is what the Cavs want in cap relief. So I think that you might even just be able to do Ibaka in a second, because what other team can actually provide that cap relief that they want in Cleveland, and then also can give you picks? I don't think there's going to be that big of a bidding war on K-Love. I think K-Love's a good addition for this team because it brings you more consistent shooting and gives you great rebounding that could be abused. And then with the Bucks too, yes, you worry about the Giannis matchup, but I also think that really you could just have Siakam play the 4, you move Gasol to the bench, and then K-Love beats Brook Lopez day in, day out.
Yeah.
So I truly think that's a great deal for them. It's just, I think the biggest issue for them is when they face the Sixers. Because
that's the big question.
Because then is K-Love going to get played off the floor? Because you're going to need to play Siakam at the 4, Gasol at the 5. Where is K-Love going to play? Because you need someone to guard Simmons. Simmons is likely going to play the 4. K-Love is going to come off the bench then. which Caleb might dominate in the second
could
unit.
they
But
do a situation where it's like Siakam plays the 3, but he guards the 4? Yeah, it's not C-Scam.
but who
C-Scam.
But with C-Scam, our guy C-Scam.
Because we
C-Scam,
saw the Warriors do it all the time. Like Clay was at the 2, but he wasn't always guarding the 2.
You can't roll
Yeah.
out Gasol, Caleb, and Siakam though, because who the hell is Caleb going to guard?
Yeah, whoever the slowest guy in the course.
Yeah.
I mean, he did lock down Steph fucking Curry
the way
but-
that works is when they have Embiid and Al Horford out.
Yeah, if you have Al Horford, Caleb can stand next to Al Horford. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. By the way, it was Nico Mirotic. It was Milwaukee passing Stanley Johnson from Detroit to Milwaukee to New Orleans to get Nico Mirotic back up, which phenomenal job by Milwaukee on that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thon Maker, that was it was an unofficial 3-team deal because it was one trade and then they quickly passed back.
Cool. All right, so there you go. So no, there is nothing. So I wouldn't be shocked if they move Ibaka.
Yeah.
I think that would be probably one of the more intriguing trade options because a lot of teams can't offer you just one guy straight up that's going to expire $23 million off the books, and I think that's what the Cavs want. So I really like that K-Love idea. That's the first K-Love trade that I've heard that I've actually liked. So good job on Chris Mannix for that one.
Yeah.
I think though, and if you add that to their team, Kyle Lowry has proven that he's a playoff performer. Pascal Siakam has proven that he might be a star in this league. Marc Gasol is a great veteran defender. K-Love is a guy that has playoff experience. You have great length, too, because you're not getting rid of it. And Rondae Hollis-Jefferson has been playing very good for this team. You still have OG Anunoby. You still have Norm Powell. I think that's a deal that they should explore. And if you have to give up a first, you have to give up a first. And I don't really think that hurts them because right now you have Gasol, you have Kyle Lowry. These guys aren't leaving. Where's your team going to be hurt there? I think that's a great deal.
I like that. The other one that you had tossed out, I think from the same guy, was the Drew Holiday one, right?
He said, see, that's a weird thing in the tweet that confused me is he brings up TT, he brings up Love, and then he says versatile wings like Holiday and Robert Covington. Is he talking about Drew Holiday?
He could be talking Justin.
Okay, because I was going to say, isn't Drew Holiday a point guard, shooting guard?
I would
he can
think
guard
he
1 through
means
3.
Justin or Drew.
Okay.
Aaron is, and we
Aaron's
know
true
it's
point.
not Aaron because Aaron's a true guard.
Yeah.
Drew's more of a, he's better at the 2.
Yeah, but he can
So-
guard 3s because he's like 6'6" and has his
6'5". I'm not going to argue
somewhere
on
in that
6'5",
range.
6'6".
Yeah, he's somewhere in that range. He's tall, he's strong, he's long.
I think it would likely be, what's the other name? Holiday
Justin.
and
It's
Holiday
just-
and
Rocco.
Rocco. I wonder what Justin's making because that's in the 11 mil range. So I wonder if Justin Holiday, but also why would they move away from Justin Holiday? Justin Holiday's making 4.8 mil. So, and I think Drew's making 23. So I think likely he means Drew. I think he'd be a wing defender. But Drew Holiday, I think, is probably the most intriguing name out of those lists, at least the best name out of the whole names that we've thrown out there. I don't think it would just be I don't think it'd be the trailing
tossing
lead
after,
of that.
yeah, that's probably-
like, maybe they trade for Drew Holiday.
It probably meant Justin
So
there.
I think
Break up the Holiday Bros. I don't know.
Drew's fun, but I don't know if they can make that deal because then you're talking about 2 firsts, and you'd be Surge and 2 firsts.
They could, though.
But that would bring their team so much help because that way,
They could do Surge
don't-
2020, 2022, and then boom, you're good.
and then you can bring Fred VanVleet back to the bench where he thrives, and Justin fills in that amazingly because he adds better defense, better size, and like that starting lineup is terrifying.
Like, that's the thing that Mannix even said in the tweet. Like, they've got, if you're a team that, like the Cavs, hey, we want that expiring contract, cool, we got it. If you're a team like the Pelicans that wants these draft picks, fucking take them. We don't need the draft picks.
I wonder, though, if they do want to trade Drew because this team's been playing a little bit better recently.
They have been.
And they do want to, obviously,
all of a sudden Lonzo
they
Ball.
want to see what they're going to be able to
Yeah.
do with Zion. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be
Remember, he's
something
a
that they
ball star.
truly do explore.
They're 3
I don't
games
think
out
they
of the
get rid of
playoffs.
Drew because Drew is locked up long term. What did you
He
say?
is. The Pelicans, at 14 and 25 are 3 games out of the playoffs.
Bulls are 5 games out of
I
Bulls are
love the
5
West.
games out of the playoffs and 5 games away from the first pick.
By the way, what's going on in the Twitch chat is making me laugh. It's basically Soapy and
Jake talking about
going back and
Thon
forth.
Maker.
My favorite one is Thon Maker. What is he, 38 now? Soapy, he's 50, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I think that Toronto right now could be a team that would be a shocking team if they upset the 76ers or if they upset the Celtics or if they upset the Bucks in the playoffs.
If it's a 4-5, I don't think so. I don't think it's a shocking upset.
That would actually be a really great matchup, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that if they add K-Love, they go back to probably the second best team in the East. I think if they add a player like that, I think that we just went through the lineup. I think
too.
He's got championship experience.
They're pretty much matchup proof at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I really then just worry about how much of a star is Siakam, and that's probably a fun matchup to watch. Is how good is he? That's a fun reason to watch.
Have Ben Simmons try to stop Pascal Siakam?
And see Giannis versus Pascal. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
So
I'm with you.
So John Beeline, Altman, call up the Raptors, get it done.
There you go. Make a deal.
One of you two.
Let's make a deal. Let's get K-Love on a good team. All right?
I'd love that.
Get that slug on a good team.
We be talking about hashtag free Derrick Rose. No, it's hashtag free K-Love.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
All right. Final call for people to vote in the straw poll. Ricky, if you want to share it one more time. That's going to do it, though, for the K-Love Toronto Raptors segment that can't turn into. I think if they make a deal like that, they could truly become the second best team in the Eastern Conference and would be competing with the Bucks. I think the Bucks just get the edge because they have the better star, and it's not the Antetokounmpo. But the Raptors, if they make a trade like that, they could possibly go for a two-peat, which would be absolutely fun to see. Yes. But yeah. That is going to do it for the Fast Break podcast. We talked about the Toronto Raptors. We did the all-decade draft. We did our Wet Boys. And we talked about Robert Covington. Yeah, we talked about Robert Covington being traded at the deadline. Let us know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. Again, we are live on twitch.tv/mostofoupodcast. If you like what you're watching, come watch us live. It is more fun. You can get into the Thon Maker Trash Talk, which is great. And if you want to also join in a segment, you want to throw out a segment idea as well, you can go to patreon.com/mostofouspodcast. I know Soapy shared a topic a little bit later, so we'll have that on next week. So and he can do that since he's at the $10 tier, but the $5 tier that you also get when you sign up for the $10 tier allows you to throw in a topic. So shout out to Soapy, and we'll talk about that next week. We really appreciate that, and we're going to end it again with reading off our teams for the all-decade draft. Jake, our patron, was on. We did the all-decade draft. We drafted 5 starters, 3 bench players, and a coach. I just want to, again, make sure, go vote in the straw poll. We got 9 votes. I don't like the results so far because there
10
is
votes.
10 votes now.
You just don't like it because you're not winning.
I am, but I have the better team.
I have the best team, and I'm not winning by anything. I'm dead last.
Team's trash. Again, we're gonna read this off.
I'd love to know. Tell me how your team works. That's
okay. I will after I read off the teams. Okay. Again, vote on the straw poll that Ricky just shared in the chat on twitch.tv/mostofouspodcast. Jake at the point guard has 2018-2019 James Harden, 2016-2017 Klay Thompson, 2015-2016 LeBron James, 2010-2011 Dirk Nowitzki, 2010-2011 Dwight Howard. That's his point guard, small forward. That's point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. On his bench, he has 2016-2017 versions of Kyrie Irving, Marc Gasol, and Gordon Hayward. And as his coach, he has the 2013-2014 Greg Popovich. Dave at his point guard has 2014-2015 Chris Paul, 2016-2017 Jimmy Butler, 2018-2019 Paul George, 2018-2019 Giannis Antetokounmpo MVP, 2015-2016 Draymond Green. Then on his bench, he has the 2018-2019 versions of Blake Griffin, Damian Lillard, and Joel Embiid, and his coach is the 2010-2011 NBA champion Rick Carlisle. Ricky at his point guard has MVP Trip Dub, 2016-2017 Russell Westbrook. He has 2010-2011 Dwayne Wade. At his small forward, he has 2018-2019 NBA champion Kawhi Leonard, 2014-2015 Anthony Davis at his power forward, and Defensive Player of the Year, 2013-2014 Joakim Noah.
Yeah, top 5 in MVP voting, too.
Yep, and on his bench, 2012-2013 Carmelo Anthony, 2010-2011 Kobe Bryant, that was a good pick, and then 2012-2013 Serge Ibaka, that was the worst pick, and then 2012-2013 Eric Spoelstra as his coach, and then me, I have 2015-2016 Steph Curry, 2017-2018 Victor Oladipo, 2016-2017 Kevin Durant, 2013-2014 Kevin Love, 2018-2019 Nikola Jokic, 2010-2011 D Rose on my bench as my 6th man, 2010-2011 Paul Gasol, 2012-2013 Tim Duncan, who was Defensive Player of the Year, had a defensive rating of 95 on my bench, and then 2015-2016 Steve Kerr. You were asking how my team works.
Yeah, because it's soft, it's fat, and they shoot.
It is not soft.
Steph Curry's the softest player on that team. Nikola Jokic, also super soft. Kevin Love, super soft. KD, incredibly soft.
Kevin Durant that year was literally, fuck you, I'm proving you wrong, and I'm
So
going to
soft.
destroy
Mental
LeBron.
game just gone.
Mentally, what are you fucking talking about? He was NBA
Getting his
Finals
head.
Say
MVP
something on
and
Twitter.
destroyed LeBron James and hit that knockdown shot.
So soft.
You guys are idiotic. 2016-27, Kevin Durant was a monster in the playoffs. Dominated LeBron James that year too, and hit that nail of a shot. Was
I'll give him
Finals
credit. That
MVP
shot was
for-
incredible.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Because he was phasing out everything. Was determined killer that year. Steph Curry, I don't
soft.
think is soft. That year, Steph Curry was not injured that year, and that was the best Steph Curry that we've ever seen, 50, 40, and 90, shooting like 300, 500 threes, whatever he shot that year, setting NBA records. Victor Oladipo was a top 3 defensive player of the year.
Vic alone.
Kevin Love is probably, that year, was the best defender, best rebounder in the NBA. And Nikola Jokic
Andre
can
Drummond
be
existed,
soft,
sorry.
but he's also going to be playing away from the basket, and he can body down Draymond Green. The Jokic thing, I think where Jokic wins is stretching out Joakim Noah outside and not playing him near the post. You're going to bring him out, draw him out, and if you then flip Anthony Davis or Dwight Howard, Dwight Howard's not a perimeter defender. Jokic would cook him
he's
up.
not.
I think that the team that would give me the most trouble, at least starting lineup wise, would be Giannis versus Kevin Love. That would be the most difficult matchup.
It's not even fair.
But even then, if that starts screwing me over, I can move KD to the 4, and then have Giannis defend there, slide Vic down, and then have a horrible backcourt defense in Steph Curry and Derrick Rose. That's the team that gives me the most trouble.
My team has defense everywhere, has scoring potential left, right, and center. Like, the ball moves because Chris Paul...
My team's going to stretch you out, though. My ball's moving as well. I have Nikola Jokic as my fucking center/power forward.
Draymond Green is the same thing, but who can
we
shoot
get
better?
it. Your balls move.
That was the year Draymond Green was knocking down threes like crazy.
But he doesn't have a ball mover like Steph Curry. He doesn't have
Chris Paul is a better passer than Steph Curry ever was.
I know. I'm trying to win.
I have the best team, period. I have the best passing. I have facilitators.
The votes
1
don't
through
say
5.
that, though.
I don't care what the votes say. Since when is the popular
Jake
opinion
made 4
right?
burners. Come on.
Yeah, you can literally just keep clicking through and doing it and like clicking yourself. I'm just saying, I've got defense
I
everywhere.
tried it.
I've
I'll
got
let
guys
you
who
do
can
it
pass
once.
everywhere. I've got dominant offensive players. I've got wing shooters. I've got depth. I've got literally. There's nothing my team can't do. And again,
I just
first
let
team
my
all
team
defense,
speak
first
for
team all
itself.
defense, first
Yeah,
team all
I
defense,
don't-
first team all defense, first team all defense.
I'll be honest. I think Dave and I have the best teams. I don't understand how James Harden, Mr. Ball Hog, would be able to move that ball
Like Dirk
around.
just gets burned. I love Dirk, but like offensively he's great, but defensively he gets burned by Giannis, by Anthony Davis, and by Kevin Love.
Dwight Howard's overrated.
I like Dwight Howard, and so what he did there, the only thing that kills me is like he's got LeBron James, who's not as great of a 3-point shooter, and the whole thing I'd planned this was I could go like old school Magic and Dwight in the post, and then basically a new version of all their shooters, and like.
But James
roll it out
Harden
like
off ball, will he be moving enough?
Yeah, I mean that's I James and Clay are fine. It's just the LeBron James like question mark on their spacing because he has to crash. So and Dwight has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Like that's the only issue with that team.
And I mean, Ricky has no outside shooting.
Brody and D-Wade, so your backcourt
Yeah.
needs to be in the paint.
Your backcourt needs to be driving constantly. Kawhi Leonard is taking mostly mid-range shots.
Ricky,
this
sorry,
is before
you-
AD
sell-
can
sell
shoot
your team.
threes,
I'm
and
sorry, I'm just
Joakim
talking
Noah
shit
can't
right
even
now.
shoot
I need
I
to
just
talk.
let my team speak for itself. It'd go on the court, it'd win, and then you guys would be like, "Oh,
What does
well,
that mean? It's not even words.
I
How
would
is your
let-
team working?
I am
You
letting
can't
my
shoot a three.
team go, like it isn't. I know that I'm Mr. 3-point, but it's like this team.
You Mr. 3-point?
Yeah, where I'm always talking about how 3 points.
why I dropped CJ
the
McCollum.
the centers are dead. You need 3-pointers to win. But like I just look at my team, and you've got. That's the great thing about this decade. It wasn't just hey, we're gonna play 3-ball or nothing.
True.
My guys are gonna put the ball in the bucket. My paint has phenomenal defense, just like Dave's. You
It
ain't
does.
getting past Joakim or AD, and then if you just
I don't
to,
need to. I have Kevin Durant and Steph
just
Curry.
to get to them, Kawhi Leonard gonna lock you down. D Wade was no slouch. Like
No, D-Wade-
I'm gonna put up points, and then we'll see how. If all I gotta do is say, hey, guard you on the 3, give you no space, force you to drive, and you ain't scoring.
Okay, how are you stopping Steph Curry though?
Force you to
Steph,
drive.
Steph is going to cook Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, but D-Wade on him would be.
D Wade was overrated as a defender.
You're just wrong.
You're
just wrong.
My team is pretty damn good.
D Wade had some of the best handles.
The only thing
that's gonna help him on
best
defense.
defensive handles.
The only thing I wish I had.
He's active. He led the league in steals, I think, for like 2.
You're talking about the best, probably top 3 ball handler in NBA history, and Steph Curry.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, if you grab peak defensive D Wade, which I don't know if that was was still there.
1.5 steals that year.
Okay,
and defensive rating in 2010-2011 was 102.
It was pretty good. That's pretty good.
But like the only thing I would
2010 D Wade had a 99 defensive rating.
The only thing I would go back and change is instead of Russ, I would have taken that D Rose. That's it. Like that is the biggest. Like other than that, I love my team.
I'm shocked that you took Russ after how much. No, Sean hates Russ. I'm sorry.
I hate Russ.
Well, I thought that Derrick Rose would still be there, and I waited.
The Carmelo Anthony one kills me.
I didn't think
The
Sean would take a bull because Sean hates the bull.
I had 3 Bulls. I had Dave's Butler. I had your Noah, and I had Rose. Let's go to the results. We have 10 votes.
Yep.
Jake has 40% of the votes. Ricky has 30. I have 20, and Dave has 1.
Unpopular opinion, but people are wrong.
Yeah, Soapy clearly voted for Jake. He said Jake's is the best, and then Jake voted for himself at least once. And
at
also,
least once.
One of my votes is me. So
I voted for me too.
Okay, so Dave's only vote is Dave.
Yep. But YouTube's gonna have my back, right?
And I'm assuming you voted for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm assuming Jake voted for himself.
So overall, Jake had 3 votes, Ricky had 2, I had 1, and Dave had 0.
Yep.
So shout out to everyone who voted. We appreciate you guys watching on twitch.tv.
Bunch of nephews out there.
What does that mean?
He's getting upset at KD tweeting, and now he doesn't even know about the nephew meme. All right, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you for watching on twitch.tv/MostValued Podcast. I know Sam was in here. I know King E was in here. I know Soapy was in here. Soapy's been in here since we started. I know Jake was obviously in here. We want to thank Jake for coming on the podcast as well, and for being a patron on patreon.com/MostValued Podcast. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. I think mainly we shouted out everybody that was in here. So shout out to everybody that was here. We love you. We appreciate you.